this is a incredible feat, but it's really not unexpected because, for the last decade or so, youth, grandmothers, and mothers in City Heights and organizations like Mid-City Can have been spearheading the advocacy for the youth opportunity passes. And so, honestly, today we're going to celebrate you. We celebrate all of you because you are the ones that have the vision. And I want to make sure that I emphasize that we hear you, right? This is what we want at SANDAG. We want to hear, and in our local government, we want to hear from our communities, hear what policies actually make sense, and so that we can implement those policies and make sure that we can make a difference in their lives. I think all of you know that last year SANDAG and the County of San Diego partnered up with MTS and with NCTD to officially launch the Youth Opportunity 18 and under passes. I think many of you already know that the Youth Opportunity process are really an investment for all of us to make sure that we remove some of the barriers that exist and that many of our young people are facing when they go to school, when they go to work, to participate in internships and different programs, and recreational activities. It's so important that we do everything that we can to invest in for our transit-dependent communities. And one of those things I think that is also really important about this is that we know that if you start using transit as a young person, you will become, the likelihood of you becoming a resident who becomes a lifelong transit rider is, really what's going to happen. So I want to make sure you all know that as the chair of SANDAG, I am committed to doing everything I can to advocate for additional opportunity passes so that more members in our community can move freely across the county. I do want to say that we've made some changes, at the beginning with the Pronto, app, and we had the cards for folks, and we really are hearing from the community about what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and partnering with MTS and to figure out all of the details, because it's really important for us that we make this accessible. And when I'm talking about breaking down barriers, we're talking about all of them, not just making sure that it's no cost. And so I am committed to doing this work. I think all of you know or may not know yet that as the chair of the Board of Supervisors, I introduced a policy last week to make sure, a week or two, to make sure that we find additional resources to make sure that we can fund the expansion to 24 and under. So that's a big priority for me as the chairperson of the County Board of Supervisors, and we're going to continue to push that because I think with investments like this is really how we make a difference in our youth and our community's lives. So I'm really looking forward to some of the work that we're going to do at SANDAG to consider this as well, because I do believe that this is an investment in our youth and in the future of our communities. Así que con eso les quiero dar muchas gracias a todos por acompañarnos. Como presidenta de SANDAG, para mí es muy importante, y también como presidenta de la Junta de Supervisores del Condado de San Diego, es un día que me enorgullece, ¿verdad? Porque muchas personas dijeron que no se podía. Y lo que estamos demostrando hoy es que sí se pudo. Que sí se pudo, y más que nada, lo importante de esto es de que ese es un proyecto y un trabajo que los miembros de nuestra comunidad tienen haciendo por décadas. Ellos tienen abogando, nuestras abuelitas, nuestros tíos, nuestros jovencitos tienen años abogando porque este programa, y ellos son los que nos dijeron, si lo hacemos, la gente va a usar el transporte y sí va a funcionar. Entonces ahora estamos aquí celebrando que ya hay más de 5 millones de viajes de jóvenes de 18 años o menos que están usando el transporte público, y no hay nada más emocionante para mí que en realidad esté sucediendo eso, porque sabemos el impacto que eso tiene para nuestras comunidades, el impacto que tiene para reducir barreras, para en realidad impactar a las comunidades. Así que muy emocionada que esto esté sucediendo. Quiero que sepan, como comenté, que en la Junta de Supervisores, como presidenta de esa junta, para mí es muy importante también seguir abogando para que, esa es la primera fase. La segunda fase es abogar para que los jóvenes de 24 y menos años puedan también tener ese acceso, porque pues sabemos que hay muchos estudiantes que están en la escuela, que tienen que ir al trabajo, etcétera. Así que vamos a seguir luchando. Estoy muy orgullosa del trabajo que se está haciendo con MTS, SANDAG y NCTD para en realidad salir adelante. Así que es un día que hoy, más que nada, es una celebración, no solamente para nuestras comunidades, pero para la región, para el medio ambiente y para las comunidades de justicia de transporte. Así que con eso I would like to, like I said, thank organizations like Mid-City Can, Environmental Health Coalition, City Heights CDC, the Casa Familiar, Alliance for Regional Solutions, Urban Collaborative, the San Diego Transportation Equity Working Group, and the SANDAG Social Equity Working Group as well, and so many others that have helped make a positive difference in our community. So we're going to continue to build on this program, continue to connect young people. And if you know anyone who's under 18 who doesn't have a pass yet, you let them know that public transportation is at no cost in the county of San Diego and that it's really important that they use it so that we can continue to have this program. With that, it is my honor to introduce my colleague to the podium who has been a champion of YOP. He was actually one of the leaders and advocates in this program in that process many years ago. And so, and I'm proud that we are working together side by side to make sure that everybody understands that this is a priority for us. And so with that, I would like to introduce Council Member for District 9 and the City of San Diego's Council President, Shani Rivera.
Thank you, Chair Vargas. Make me feel old. So many years ago. Thanks everyone for being here today. Again, I'm Shani Rivera. I'm the SANDAG Vice Chair, San Diego City Council President. I represent San Diego City Council District 9, and I'm an MTS board member. I'm so excited to be here. 5 million rides. I'm thinking about the times we stood in the room right over there and begged and pleaded and demanded for the SANDAG board members, for MTS board members to hear us, to hear the community, that youth wanted these passes, that youth needed these passes, that these passes would be transformative for the lives of young people in San Diego. And they didn't believe us. And we kept asking, and we kept at it, and the community kept at it. And over the past several months, these 5 million rides represent a lot. And one of the things that they represent is why it's so important to listen to the community. It was not just it was not just something to benefit one neighborhood. As some folks on the SANDAG board at the time said, it was not something that would be abused by young people. As some folks at MTS used to say, this is something that has been transformative already over and over and over again to the count of 5 million rides for our young people in San Diego. And sometimes in those big numbers, we can get lost in the big numbers. But I think it's important to look at the stories of what is represented in each one of those passes and each one of the rides that it's taken, whether it's Haiti or Miguel or Mia or Zandra, who's talking about the ways that this has changed their lives and their families' lives by reducing cost or opening up doors of opportunity. This is why we have to continue to invest in youth transportation, invest in our youth more just generally, and perhaps most importantly, continue to listen to community. Because there are things right now that are the youth opportunity passes of 10 years ago, that grandmothers and mothers and youth are showing up and saying, we want this, we need this, this will have a huge impact on our lives, and leaders are not listening to community. And so I hope we can be excited about today. We can be appreciative of the efforts of community members, of the transformative impact that having leaders like Chair Vargas can have when we elect them into office, but also take it as an opportunity to reflect on what's being asked for right now by community members and is not being responded to. Because I'll wrap up by saying this. I'm so glad we are here, and the effort certainly makes days like today more sweet, but it shouldn't have been so damn hard. It should not have taken this long to do something so simple that is so obviously impactful. So I hope that this is certainly a reminder to me. I hope it can be a reminder for all of us that when community shows up and they stay at it and they demand action and they explain to us the ways this will have a huge benefit in their lives, that we listen and we don't make them beg and plead for a decade before we respond to those needs. So thank you again. I'm so excited. I will reiterate what the chair said. It's I think the most important part for the folks watching at home. You have a child who's 17 or under. They have free transportation right now. Get a pass. Get a youth opportunity pass. We're going to make sure at MTS that these are accessible, that they're easy to use, But every young person in San Diego, 17 and under right now, has free transportation. Take advantage of it. We want you to develop those sustainable riding habits. We want doors of opportunity to open for you, and you can do that right now. With that, I will introduce our next speaker, NCTD Chair and Solana Beach City Council Member Jewel Edson.
Thanks, Sean, and thanks everyone for coming today. I'm Jewel Edson, the Chair of North County Transit District, the Solana Beach City Council Member, and the Chair of the LoSAN Agency. I also sat on the SANDAG Transportation Committee for, I think, 5 years, and I did listen, and I did support. So the Youth Opportunity Pass program has been a great success, and we're here today to celebrate that. When we launched the pilot last year, I called mobility a new superpower for our youth. Our experience with the program so far shows that that's exactly what it's become. Mobility means opportunity. The Youth Opportunity Pass has opened up so many possibilities for the youth of our region. It's been truly transformational. With access to 5 million free rides and counting, the youth of San Diego County have embraced public transit like never before. After discovering the convenience of taking transit through our region, young people are riding NCTD's Sprinter and Breeze Bus to move around North County. They're taking the Coaster to explore points north and south, and connecting to the MTS bus and trolley network to work, play, and explore farther afield. When I say YOP has been a great success, I mean it. Since the launch of the program, NCTD has seen a whopping 186% increase in new youth riders on our system. This has contributed to an impressive system-wide ridership increase of approximately 23%. The Youth Opportunity Pass program promises to have a lasting impact on changing the culture around transit in our region. By showing youth how convenient taking transit really is, we can create riders for life. In order to expand the YOP program, NCTD is eager to work with SANDAG and the county to identify a permanent source of funding, one that will allow us to extend the Youth Opportunity Pass program without impacting the ability to maintain and improve overall transit service. So I'd like to say kudos to everyone involved in making the pilot program possible and successful, especially our youth. Right on, you guys. Thank you, and I would like to introduce Denise Lopez, a frequent transit rider and representative of Mid-City CAN. Thanks. I got you.
Like always, okay. Hello, my name is Denise Lopez. I'm a youth leader with Mid-City CAN Improving Transportation in City Heights. I am a current student at UCSD and previously attended Hoover High School. I have been riding transit since I was like 2 months old, and during my years at Hoover High School, I saw my peers struggle to have the correct amount of money to purchase a fare. Even sometimes asking teachers or friends for change to afford a ride. If you didn't have enough change, they will let you get it. They wouldn't let you in on and will have to walk instead. I was lucky that my high school was close by. I didn't need I didn't need a pass to get there. However, over the weekends I was unable to go to school events in other neighborhoods or go places with my peers in youth council due to the financial burden it will cause to my family. Also, when I was growing up, there was a lot of medical. There was a lot of times we had to go to Tijuana to get medical care because we couldn't afford it here in the U.S. And every time we had to pay fares for my mom, my brother, and I, there was an each $5 each every trip. Now that we have the Youth Opportunity Pass pilot program, I have seen many youth have access to more doors of opportunities. My friends use it to go to internships, to go to schools, especially schools that don't have a school bus to go get there. And exploring parts of San Diego increased so badly. Sadly, I couldn't use the pilot program because I turned 19. However, it helped me and others see the importance of the youth opportunity pass. I'm happy to see that my little brother and his friends can benefit from this program, and he has access to get more places like his soccer games in Chile Vista. Extending the pilot program to youth 24 and under will help many youth 24 and under will provide many adults like me. It will provide more financial freedom and culture of riding ships as an adult in San Diego. Thank you. Now I would like to pass it to you.
Thank you. Let's do a round of applause. And I think the vice chair and council president said it, really well. It's so important to make sure that it doesn't take us 10 more years to really do this kind of these types of policies that really have an impact in our communities every day. And you can hear not only your story, but all the stories that you're seeing today, and Heidi and all these other folks. And I've written with some of them, right, from San Isidro to Chula Vista and some other places. And so, want to be clear, we still have a lot of work to do, right? Cost is only one barrier. Accessibility is another one. And making sure that our buses are running on time so that people can get to where they need to be fast and all those other good things. That's what we are supposed to be doing at SANDAG, and thinking about innovative ways to make sure that we get people from one point to another, and that we fight for those resources in the federal and state governments to make sure that our communities have what they deserve. And so, but today, I don't want us to lose the reason why we're here. The reason why we're here is we have 5 million riderships, right? And that's really, really important. I want us to celebrate that. I want us to acknowledge that, because I think as policymakers, we do one thing, we check, and then we move on. Today, is a day for us to stop and say thank you. Thank you for all the youth that stepped up and made sure that they said, we asked for it, we needed it, and we're using it. And so, muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros, y que no se nos olvide 5 millones de viajes, estudiantes y jóvenes de que tienen menos de 18 años es sumamente importante para esta región más que nada. Así que we're happy to take individual questions. Thank you so much for being here, and let's give our champions a big round of applause.
Any questions? We would take it all together, or?